Yes, people, welcome back to the show. Welcome to another episode of the Treble Tapes Podcast, episode 7, where we discuss everything Manchester United and the games coming up. We have a match on Saturday against Spurs, Tottenham, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We are going to be breaking down, certain key elements and, discussing Manchester United's progress throughout Ruben Amorim's tenure. So let's get into it. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm available on Spotify. I'm gonna be sending this as well on iTunes, Amazon, definitely on YouTube as well. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. It will mean a lot. Now, with this fixture coming up against Spurs, right? 6 encounters we have had with Spurs, including the horrific Europa League we lost against them. We have to make things right. Building off the fact that 9 years of, or how many years was it, against Liverpool, we finally beat Liverpool at their ground. Brighton has always been our bogey team. Most of the managers come and fail. Eric Ten Hag, Ruben Amorim. This season, we turned them over. Beating them. Was it 4-2? Yeah. And since then, Ruben Amorim has been building, and building. But we need consistency, which I will get to. But Ruben Amorim's system with the 3-4-2-1 system, against Spurs, I believe he has to look at the way Thomas Frank plays, right? Try to break down how this game is gonna go and what he can do to, kill the momentum of how they will play, right? So I will get to Ruben Amorim and how he has to get his tactics right to make sure that we get this game over the line. Under Ruben Amorim, we have had 22 wins, 10 draws, 21 losses from 53 matches. Yeah, that is not perfect. That is far from perfect. That right there needs a lot of improvement. Lately, yes, he has been winning, but that's not really what we want. He's still inconsistent with the draw against Nottingham Forest, right? And you have to know, with Ruben Amorim's tactics, moving from possession heavy to more direct and vertical football, with long range passes, you have to understand that this system is the way it is, but then he has to use his squad as well. When you see that things are not going right, Ruben Amorim, make sure that you use your bench, right? Bruno Fernandes or Casemiro getting tired, sub them off. Bring in Kobe Mainoo, fresh leg. With keeping them out, you make things worse for Kobe Mainoo or Xerxes or this type of players being out in the cold. When they come in, it's difficult for them to catch on, right? It's difficult. Unless the opposition team is giving spaces in the midfield where now Kobe can easily turn and now catch up with the game. But when it's fast paced, it's going to be difficult, right? Which means all these players going for AFCON, when Kobe Mainoo finally gets his chance to play, he will still struggle because he has been out for so long. That's why Ruben Amorim needs to be playing Kobe Mainoo in certain games, giving them minutes to be able to have that match rhythm. Training all the time is not match rhythm. They're two different things. So he needs to build from that. As far as Ruben Amorim's tactics goes, we have seen he wins he I mean, we turned over Liverpool, Brighton, Sunderland, Chelsea, and almost got a win against Nottingham Forest. But again, Sean Dyche proved why he is a veteran in this Premier League, right? And we had to come out with a draw under under struggle. But then, with the high press and structure traps forcing the opposition wide, that is what we will need to do against Spurs, improving the midfield balance and structure, which is we obviously know is Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro, right? They have been having a good game. These two have been having a good game for several games now, so we can clearly see what they are all about. Like Bruno Fernandes coming back, to the defense, collecting the ball and distributing, right? That has been his role this season. And against Nottingham Forest, right, we saw what Bruno Fernandes was all about, and he is still getting shots on goal and almost scoring. Hits the bar, Casemiro hit the bar again, and he went out, right? So we will need to see that, try to exploit Spurs' midfield with Kulusevski and Madison being out. We can use that. João Paulinho and Xavi Simon, not Simons, Simon. They will not be able to contain our midfield, right? They will not be able to contain our midfield, which makes it good for us to play that way. And also, we can go long when we want to, right? Again, you have the big man up front, which is Seshko. Get him involved in the game, right? Our system is so rigid. I mean, not rigid, but our system is made in such a way that, like, Seshko is completely sometimes out of the game, which is not good. He has to be dropping back, collecting the ball, and seeing what he can actually do. Yes, I see Gary Neville, slagging him off, saying, "Oh, he has to do much better." Saying he has been the worst out of the summer signings we have bought. I'm like, is this guy normal? Like, he has scored goals and assisted, but at this point, there are certain games, yes, he's gonna be missing, but in some games he's gonna rise. But he also needs time. I don't see nobody saying our players need time, but when it's Liverpool, we make up all type of excuses, and this is what I hate about our former players. This is what I hate about legends of Manchester United. Now they have the microphone, everybody's just saying n'importe quoi and just talking out of their asses sometimes. And I'm just like, yeah, when you lack something to say, why not focus about Liverpool and just talk about Liverpool? They have a lot of problems right there, but no, we still want to find loopholes on Man United, talking about Seshko because he did not score in one game. What about the previous games? He assisted. What about the previous games? He scored. What else do you want from a striker? Yes, our system is not made like that, but come on, man. Come on. I mean, there are certain things Ruben Amorim still need to fix, to be honest. Like, there are certain weaknesses and key things Ruben Amorim needs to fix, to be honest. While we are still winning games, we are inconsistent, right? If you look at the Nottingham Forest game, we went 2-1 down immediately in the second half. That should not be happening. The players slept, and we conceded 2 goals in seconds while winning 1-0 up. It's crazy. We were literally coming out of the first half saying, yeah, let's kill off this game and make that happen. But guess what? We slept so much that we conceded 2 goals in seconds. And I'm just like, what is happening? So we need to, Ruben Amorim needs to drain that like instill that in the players, right? So that when we, come out of games, stay concentrated to the 90th minute, till the whistle blows, um, we need to manage the games better, but when we are leading, that's what I just said. We need to manage the game and make sure that each time we go on we are in a lead, we should not be easily giving away pointless goals, conceding pointless goals for nothing, right? And we have to make sure that our center backs stay consistent, because they were sleeping too much, and it becomes a problem, right? Our midfield can be overrun, with Kudus, Paulinho, and whoever else is playing in that midfield, if we are not careful, right? But our system is made in such a way that the tens covers the midfield sometimes. They help out to be able to have that, blockage there, and depending on the way we play, if we are playing long balls across Brian Mbumo or Ahmad or Cunha, it skips over the midfield, then we don't have to do too much, right? So that's one of the things we need to do to make sure that we catch Tottenham in possession when we have the ball. Our wing backs need to exploit the spaces. Tottenham forwards leave when pressing. We are going to create chances when we exploit the spaces. When we exploit the spaces, Tottenham keeps, right, and that helps us to just confuse what the game plan is and what they are trying to do, so that we can catch them up and score more goals. I just need goals in this fixture specifically, so we shall see what happens. But at the same time, I'm just looking at this saying, we need to beat Spurs. I will not lie, we need to beat Spurs. Come out with a clean sheet, that would be nice, like a 2-0, a 2-1, a 3-1. We need to win this game regardless, really, because that will help us move further in the Premier League table. And where would that take us? We are on 17 points. We are on 17 points with Tottenham. Tottenham are 5th. We are 8th with 17 points, right? Win that game, it takes you to 20 points. And we are up there with second. We are up there with Man City. So we are above Man City if we win our game, and it takes us to second. Who knows what happens there? So that's what I'm saying. Like, we just need to win our games to make sure that we capitalize on the inconsistency of the other teams failing, right? Like Sunderland, for example, is losing 1-0 to Everton right now, and they are 7th, but still on 17 points. That's what I mean. The inconsistency is there. Vulnerable, right? What else? Like, again, if you look at the games so far, Ruben Amorim has won. We have been going on a nice trajectory, and this is what I want to call out. Most fans right now, when you talk about the fixture against Spurs, they're going to bring up the fact that, yes, in the 4 consecutive times under Ruben Amorim, we have failed to beat them, and also the 2 times against us with Eric Ten Hag, we have not been able to beat Spurs, right? But then that was the same narrative going against Liverpool when we played at Anfield. That was 9 years without winning at Anfield. Look at all the managers we have had. No one has come out successful at Anfield. Yes, we have gotten draws there for sure, but we haven't won a game for 9 years there. Ruben Amorim this season beat Liverpool 2-1. Brighton 4-2. Attacking dominance. Chelsea 2-1. Resilience and game. We always beat Chelsea at Old Trafford, so it's a given. Literally, we are Chelsea's bogey team, right? Nottingham Forest, yeah, Nottingham Forest. We got exposed by direct football. We got exposed there. Sean Dyche sat back a little bit, and we were struggling. So and then when they had the ball in transition, they had problems, and that is what I don't want, because players were just Hudson-Odoi was just running through our back line, and it was not fun to watch. So we need to be making sure that you know is moving forward. We have to eliminate it, right? But so far, the thing is, I'm happy with the progression we are going now, right? I'm still Ruben Amorim watch, because again, it would take him a lot of games for me to be like, yeah, you know what, I'm fully back in this, because now I'm not on that train yet. I'm not on that train yet. To fully back him and be claiming all this. No, I'm not gonna do that. He needs to prove more, show me more, right? For me to be like, you know what, I'm backing you. But for now, he has earned a couple of months for me. Let me see what he's all about, so that it can, who knows what might happen. Like I said, win this Spurs game and it takes us directly to second, right? What happens there, yes, other teams will be playing, but then they are inconsistent. So it depends on which team is falling apart, and we can stay there, to capitalize on it. Teams are going to be playing this week, midweek, playing Champions League, and coming back tired. We need to be capitalizing on one game per week. So it's not that hard, right? We need to be doing that. I mean, with Spurs' injuries, we just need to make sure that we capitalize on their downfall, right? Yes, I don't wish no injury on any player, but they have injuries, and most of their good players are out, right? And also, this brings me directly to what we saw on the pitch yesterday with Spurs versus Chelsea. Chelsea beat Spurs, and Thomas Frank walked up to the players to try to tell them to at least clap the fans. But you had Van de Ven and who else? Was it Van de Ven and Jet Spence? I mean, like, just not listening to Thomas Frank and walking away down the tunnel, down into the dressing room, angry. All right? I get it, you lost the game, but then doing that in front of the whole world watching, that means there is a problem in the dressing room, which means it can be likely that Thomas Frank dropped them. But then that is the captain and also one of the Jet Spence, who is one of the good players at Spurs, doing that. So I'm asking myself, like, with the excuses, I've seen from Alan Shearer and, several pundits saying, oh, that's not even a big deal with the players acting that way. And I sat there, I'm just like, guys, if this was Bruno Fernandes at Man United, guess what? All the newspapers will come out, Talk Sport, Sky Sports, everybody will be posting about it today. Everybody will be cursing Bruno Fernandes out, saying, oh, the worst captain we have ever seen and all of that. But nobody is talking about a captain doing that. Van der Ven, Jet Spence, unprofessionalism. Nobody's talking about it. But yet we want to sit here and make excuses, and this is the reason why we are, hated but never ignored. We are the most hated club. And that right there is a primary proof, because today it's silent. A captain of Tottenham Hotspur does that to the manager in front of the whole world with cameras, with one of the players shrugging, like just walking off while he's talking to them. Thomas Frank was staring at them, and they just left. Yes, I get it. And where they are sitting in the Premier League, like I said, they are sitting at fifth with 17 points, above Chelsea. But still, same points with Chelsea, Man United, and Chelsea, Man United, Sunderland, and Tottenham. We are in the same range, right? The same points. So Thomas Frank is actually doing a good job. Yes, a couple of games he's failing in some couple of games, but at the end of the day, when you look at it, he's a brand new manager. It's gonna take time. Look at us, for example, under Ruben Amorim. We spent 1 year without winning games in the Premier League. Without winning games in the Premier League. 1 year. Fast forward to this year, again, it took us time. Into this season, and still failing until recently we started winning 3 games in a row and then a draw. So it's going to take time with Spurs fans coming out and going crazy as if they had an objective to win the Premier League, which I will never understand that, with them saying Thomas Frank out. Players getting angry is one thing, because of course it's a derby, the match was not really good, by the way. The match was shit. The worst derby I've ever seen. When you say Man United versus Liverpool, we give you a game. You see all type of things. Last minute goals, cliffhangers, we give you everything. That's a derby. Liverpool win this season, next season we win. Liverpool draw, next season we draw. Like, it happens. They win a trophy, we win a trophy. That is a derby right there. But when you talk about Chelsea and Tottenham, Chelsea beats Tottenham every single day of the week, and it just keeps happening over and over the years, right? Of course, it's going to take time under Thomas Frank because he's still building his team, but then most of them are injured. So again, that behavior is uncalled for. That behavior is unprofessional. We should be calling that out, because if this was Manchester United, every single news outlet in their mama will be talking about it, cursing, the players out and saying, oh, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Oh, look at them. They are shit, by the way. That, like, we would do this. I'll be here talking about it instead of talking about the next game coming up and looking forward to that win. But anyways, people, let's move on. Yes, when it comes to this game against Tottenham, Man United need to win that game. It's gonna mean a lot. Like I said, it takes us straight to second. Not only that, in the second in the Premier League. Not only that, we have literally United strand with the hair, still growing the hair, and he was almost there. Won 3 games in a bounce, drawn 1. He has to start all over again, And I see a lot of people putting the blame on him as if he's the one on the pitch. It is a joke. He started it as a joke, but it has become a reality where the players at Man United know what the situation is and even know about this, right? So they know what it is. We lost a trophy under this manager, and it was Spurs. We gave them their first trophy in years. we have to break that cycle. Beat them this time, get over the hurdle, and also climb up the table. Be consistent. Start winning games. We have favorable games after that. So I just don't understand why we keep acting as if this, like we have favorable games after that. So again, people, let's see how it goes. But anyways, if you're watching this and you like what you're seeing, please subscribe, like, share, and subscribe. It will help a lot. The Treble Tapes Podcast every Sunday, breaking Monday. I upload it and make sure that you have it. So stay tuned, like, share, and subscribe.